Hi everybody, it's Dr. Laura Mock here with my 20th video. I would like to thank a couple of people since I'm on my 20th video. First of all, my first 76 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. And anyone who has liked or shared or thanked me. Several people have reached out and asked me questions about their own lives. And I don't know if I've made this very clear, but just in case you've been wanting to talk to me, yes, I do coach. And for right now, it is still free. So if you like free things and you're wanting someone to bounce stuff off of, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to talk things over with you. And I have been told that I am a very good listener. I also have some mentors or people who have come before me I'd like to thank. Several podcasters, Gary Takis, of course. I've been listening to you for years on and off, but I just really want to thank you for having such a high quality podcast. And also Alan Mead, who made friends with me, even though I'm just a little person in the world of podcasting. And Mark Costas, and also Drew Burns. He's my new friend, and Drew, you just got started not that long ago, but look at how big you've gotten. So I can always just look up to you. And some fabulous females that I'd also like to thank: Jessica Emery, Christina Blatchford, Ann Duffy, Grace Yum, Elizabeth Fleming, my old sales rep, Michelle Holloway, and my two wonderful classmates, Sonia Newstrom and Danae Kreutzfeld. I'm thankful for each of you guys. Alrighty. So today, the subject we're going to talk about is called taking care of mom first. That probably sends off some selfish bells in your head, but I'm going to help you through the bells, okay? So there's a couple of different ways that we're always taking care of everyone else as mom dentists. First of all, I divided them up into two categories. We've got the stuff we do with our body and the stuff we do with our mind. And I'm telling you, the life of a mom dentist is full of both. First of all, let's start with the body. I don't think conception is any joke at all. You have to change your lifestyle. You have to stop drinking. You have to keep track of your ovulation, and you're always wondering, are you pregnant or are you not pregnant? Are you pregnant or are you pregnant? And then, of course, if you have infertility issues, then that can really drag down on your sense of well-being. So there's conception, gestation, carrying that baby. Maybe you're carrying 2, maybe you carry 7 in a row. I don't know, but anytime you're making a baby in your body, it's a big sacrifice. And if you're a mom dentist, you're trying to keep away from biohazards and try to bend over your belly while you are making that baby. Feeding the baby, especially if you're breastfeeding, but even if you're not breastfeeding, still feeding a brand new baby is so much work. And try feeding a toddler. Oh my gosh, it's so much physical work. And then recovering from your birth, whether it's a cesarean or a vaginal birth or whatever, there's all sorts of physical things that happen to your body as you're healing from making that baby. And then not only do you give your body to your family, but you also give your body to your patients. Your back can get sore. You can run into disc problems. Your neck can get sore. Your hands. I can't even tell you how many times I've had tendinitis in either a finger of mine or an elbow or my arm. And not only that, but also exposing yourself to biohazardous risks every day, plus the fact that there's a super loud noise in your ears all the time. There's so many ways that you give your body to your patients. Or how about this? You've got that one frail patient who got a cavity on the distal buccal of number 15. Oh, and they can't lay back because they get dizzy. So then you get to try to bend yourself in 5 different angles so that you can still take care of that patient. And you're tired for the rest of the day because of it. So that's your body, but it's not just your body, because mom dentists also devote the power of their mind to everybody else, many times before themselves. How about the mental load of being the matriarch of your home, okay? Who is keeping track of the calendar? Who's planning what's for dinner? Who knows that the dog needs to be taken out while you're on your CE trip next week? It all goes through your brain. And I'm telling you, that is a major load. How about the mind chaos of leading your practice? How many of us, by raise of our hands, think of our practice in the middle of the night? Come on, ladies, shoot them up. I know that happens to me a lot, especially if there was a patient or even a staff member who wasn't happy with me that day or that week or maybe that month. And then there's just the mental acrobatics of delivering dental care. Like, here are some questions that I'm constantly asking myself. Am I the best I can be? Have I learned enough? Why did that patient leave the practice? Why didn't that patient accept my treatment plan? And here's another one. How about the mental load of taking care of even one extremely nervous patient? That's all you need for your day or your week. And I'm telling you right now, I feel so much satisfaction out of taking care of my nervous patients, but it is so exhausting. So I have lined out the reason or the things that we do to take care of other people. And now I'm going to ask you, why should we take care of ourselves first? Isn't that being selfish? And I am going to tell you my big truth for today, which is that you can actually take care of all those things that I mentioned better if you take care of your own needs first. Don't agree? Keep listening. How good of a job can you do at doing the following things if you're hangry or exhausted or just bitter from oversharing yourself? Taking extra time to help a nervous 6-year-old through their first filling. Listening to your employee who got yelled at by an unruly patient. Following through with the small but important management matters. For example, enforcing a new policy with your team. That's a hard one. If I'm tired, I'm like, fuck it, whatever. I don't care. Just go do your thing. I want to go home. I just want to go sit on my couch and drink a glass of wine. How about this one? Helping your toddler through their 20th tantrum of the week. Is that easier to do if you're rested and feeling centered, or if you're hangry and exhausted? I know you guys already know the answer to that question. Here's another one. If you're not convinced yet, this is the most important one to me. Is this really how you want to live your life for the next 20 years, putting everybody else first and being exhausted at the end of every day? And is this what you pictured when you applied to dental school and when you got started in the dreams of your life? So I am here to tell you that you definitely can put your needs first. I've been doing it for years. You can ask any of my friends. I am well known as the person who draws boundaries and who takes care of herself. And don't forget, I started my journey in dental school with 2 children, and I finished dental school with 3. So I have been a mother through all of my practicing years. I've been practicing now for 11 years, and I've been in dentistry for over 20. Shh, don't tell anybody I said that. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of things that I do on a regular basis to help me take care of myself. And then if you have any strategies that you have used that you want to share with me, I'd love to hear them. Or if you have any ideas and you want to bounce them off me, I would love to hear those as well. Number 1, and this is paramount, is get enough sleep. Have I been known to put myself to bed before 8 p.m.? Yes, I have, many times. When my body says it's done, I go to bed 30 seconds after the last necessary task is done. And by necessary, I mean someone will die if I don't do it. I've been known to skip brushing my teeth, and I'm a dentist because I'm that tired. And I just go to bed because that's one thing that I need to have. I need to wake up in the morning feeling rested. Number 2 is regular exercise. And this one is super important because we need to have a strong core to do a good job taking care of that patient with the number 15 distal buckle who can't lay back or whatever, or just taking care of patients for I don't know about you, but for me, my days end up being about 9 hours because we have a lunch hour, but you know, it's mostly patient care for its straight 9 hours. And you have to have a strong body for that. And not only that, but when you're getting your heart rate up into those higher rates, you just make a lot more happy feeling chemicals in your body. It makes your brain work better, and your sense of well-being is stronger, and your heart is healthier. Everything's better if you exercise. I do find that I don't do well with sacrificing my sleep hours for my exercise. So what I usually do is I promise myself that I will exercise on every day that I'm not working. And then any exercise that I do on a work day is a bonus, or it's easy. For example, after work in the summertime, not right now because we have 30-mile-an-hour winds outside, but a lot of times in the summer I'll take a walk as soon as I get home before I cook dinner. If you're having trouble starting an exercise routine, or if you want to build some more muscle, I highly recommend spending some time with a trainer, or at least in a group atmosphere, so that you can learn from the people around you. Okay? Next is excellent boundary drawing, and I have a whole video on excellent boundary drawing, so I'm not going to teach you about it in here, but if you want to get better at that, I highly recommend my video number 8 on my YouTube channel. This is a good one, teaching your kids to be more independent. Now, I will admit that doing this one takes more work at the beginning. For example, my youngest child, Mimi, can now cook dinner for the entire family anytime that I ask her to. She's got 4 or 5 different things that she can make. She's 14. She's known how to make crepes since she was about 8, and she could bake a pan of brownies for plenty of time since then. Plus, she can also, she does her own laundry, and she has for years. But here's the thing, when she was 3, she was constantly pushing her chair into the kitchen to help me out. And, maybe the first 200, 300 times she did that, it was definitely more work to have her in the kitchen. But when you have your kids doing their own thing, eventually it's really worth it. That's a hard one though, because if you're really needing to take care of yourself right now, you might just need to choose the times when you're letting your kids help you cook or anything like that. All right, I'm halfway through. Number 5, preparing myself delicious, healthy meals. I spend part of my day every Sunday making a menu and going to the grocery store to get really healthy produce, really healthy meats. Try to stay out of those middle aisles unless I'm buying beans or salsa, seasoning. But I make that menu and then I follow it so that I don't have any choices to make about my food during the week. It's already made for me on Sunday, and it's all delicious. I don't eat any nasty like rabbit food. So that one is great because it helps my mind and my body be sharp and ready to serve. Number 6 is to take excellent continuing education. This is really important because it's very invigorating to learn something new. Our minds are sharp. They need to stay sharp so that we can listen to our patients and do a good job taking care of them. And besides that, you get to get away from your kids and you get to make new friends. So do some CE. And if you're afraid to go by yourself, find a CE buddy. Number 7 is to reserve friend time, and I'm not talking about spouses, even though going on dates is my number 8. Number 7 is friend time. So that's some girlfriends, maybe friends that you had in college. Maybe you have some really good ones now. If you haven't talked to your friends lately, reach out, reconnect for you, and make those connections because they really increase your quality of life. Number 8, go on dates with your husband that you're both interested in. If you don't have anything that you're both interested in, start a list. Start brainstorming. My husband and I like to go out into nature together. So a lot of times it's hiking, but it might be snorkeling or snowshoeing or cycling. Sometimes I can get him to run with me, but he really doesn't like running, even though he's way better at it than I am. So unfair because I practice it and he doesn't, and he still beats me. But just being outside is what we found that we really enjoy together. And finally, delegating some tasks that you don't really enjoy, or as Marie Kondo says, spark joy for you. So it might be laundry, or it might be vacuuming, it might be cooking. Some people hate cooking. If you can find some things that are sucking up time and energy that you can put onto somebody else, you will not regret it. All right, ladies, so those are the ways that I take care of myself, and I would like to hear what your ways are, how you take care of yourself, and also what you plan on doing better now that you have listened to my video. I do have one quick testimonial to read. It's from my dear friend Charlene, who I taught to take care of herself. It says, I grew up being taught to always put others first and never, and I do mean never, take care of myself. That I must be self-sacrificing to my children and my spouse first. I'm skipping some of this because I'm taking too long. I think I'm happier now because I love myself more than I ever did. And it's not necessarily about how I look. It's that I'm just feeding my whole self by taking care of me. I have less guilt when I do something for myself. When I used to give everything away, sometimes I felt resentful for having to give it away and not keep it for myself. I think now I can choose to take care of somebody and not feel guilty, or to not take care of somebody and not feel guilty. I think it helps me feel more balanced because I'm giving and feeding myself as much as I'm giving and feeding others. When I didn't give anything to myself, I felt drained, tired, resentful, no confidence, like I didn't deserve anything and that I was not worthy of anything. I don't feel that way anymore. I bolded this part. You truly have made an impact on my life over the years, Laura. More than I think you ever realized. Aw, I'm so glad I made a difference, Charlene. I love you. And to each of you who are listening, thank you so much. I'd love to hear how you're going to take care of yourselves. Good night.